Last Epoch just released Season 2, and we all want to know if it's worth all the hype that has been going on around this game.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Hello guys, my name is Will, and we are talking about Last Epoch. Usually I just do content about Path of Exile 2, but Last Epoch released the Season 2, and everyone is talking about this game. I played it before, and this time I decided to try it once more because of all the hype that is going around this game. Path of Exile 2, as you guys know, is not doing well with this new update, this new patch, and every new feature that they've been trying to work around it, but everyone has been quitting playing Path of Exile 2 just because how it is at the moment. It's not worth it, the gameplay, it's not the same thing, the same experience we had when it released, the early access. It was way better, it was a new game, and of course the hype was higher. So everyone is saying that Last Epoch is better than Path of Exile 2. Of course it's not everyone, but there's a lot of players talking about that, and the hype is huge. So I decided to play this game and try it. In this video I want to talk about Last Epoch and what you can find in this game. So we want to start with the characters, alright? So we have several characters in this game, like in Path of Exile 2, and we have a seasonal and legacy realm. So the legacy realm is where you can find all the characters you had previously created, and the seasonal is just to play on the leaderboard, so you can compete on the leaderboard, and you will have the seasonal thematic, and all the new content will be available on this seasonal one. So we're just gonna but we will have a look at all the characters that you can choose. So firstly we have the Sentinel, and then all of these things you are watching is the Ascendancies, alright? It's like an Ascendancy, they call it a mastery. I think it's like a mastery skill, skill or mastery class is mastery, yeah. So we have the base class, in this case Sentinel, it looks like a Templar, and we can see all the case skills we have available on this character, and then the masteries we can choose. So firstly we can only choose one of the masteries, and the bad thing that which Path of Exile have done an update about this, and is way better now, because on Path of Exile 2 you can reset your Ascendancy now. On Last Epoch, after choosing your mastery you can't reset it. So you get, when you choose a mastery, you get some passives and some stuff that you will not be able to reset it anymore unless you create a new character and you choose a different mastery. But the good thing is you can choose a mastery and then you can use your points on a different mastery, okay? You don't need to invest all your points in the mastery that you choose, and at least that's a good thing. So we have Sentinel, then we have this one which is a mage, and you can choose between Sorcerer, Spellblade, and Master. Then we have this guy which is a Primalist, and we can choose between Beastmaster, Shaman, and Druids. And then we have the Acolytes, where you can choose between Necromancer, Lich, and Warlock. All of these classes you have a lot of features and lot of options. The thing about this game is that it gives you like a big choice between skills, builds, everything. Basically you can choose everything, and everything will work for you if you want to play that way. Of course there's always some skills that are stronger than other ones, there are some stronger builds, but the thing about this game is that no matter what you choose to build, everything will work, will take you to the end game, and you'll be able to do all the end game with that build. So now let's go to my character to talk a bit more about the game. One first thing I want to say, it's about the graphics. As you guys can see, Path of Exile 2 has been working more on the graphic design, and I think the graphic design on Path of Exile 2 looks much better than in Last Epoch. But that's just one of the things we can compare these two games. Of course there's a lot of people comparing these two games, but don't forget that Last Epoch is a game that was released 1 year ago. This is the second season, and Path of Exile 2 just released a few months ago, and it's just on early access, so it has a lot to grow the game that is available at the moment is just half of the game with 3 acts. The end game is not finished, so there's a lot, it's still a lot to work on it and to go. The other thing about Last Epoch is that their company is a small company and they have been doing a great job for such a small company. Regarding the storyline, I've been enjoying much more Path of Exile 2 storyline. Of course, after doing the first time, it's always the same thing after doing the first time. And of course, Path of Exile 2, when fully launched, they will add more content and they will change the storyline when we are progressing to a new season. And that will bring more joy to every players. Regarding the monetization, it's something we need to talk about as well. So, the monetization for this game is a bit different comparing with Path of Exile 2. Of course, we have all the cosmetics like we have in Path of Exile 2, and I must say the cosmetics on Path of Exile 2 are pretty good, and these ones are really good as well. As you guys can see, we can choose a lot of cosmetics for our skills, armor, there's a lot, just choose. You have a choice for every taste on this game. So the cosmetics are good as well. But the other thing about Path of Exile 2 is that to improve your stash, you need to pay and to spend some money. And of course, that not mean that it's a pay to win game and that you need to pay to win, but it gives you more quality of life. One thing that is not happening on this game. On this game, we have a stash and you can add how much tabs you want. As you guys can see, you can go here, change the stash tab, change the name, do whatever you want. You have the generally, you can choose between different categories, so you can just customize all the tabs and all on the stash. And this is the same thing for every player. You can spend anything on this stash. Basically, the only thing you can spend money is for cosmetics. Then you also have the filters. So the filters, I don't remember where you can find the filters. Another thing they added to this game on Season 2 is that you are able to play with WASD now, which is a great improvement, especially for players coming from Path of Exile 2. This way they can play with WASD like we played in Path of Exile 2, and that is a really great improvement. So here we can find the loot filter. So on this game, you can create a filter and customize your filter in-game. In Path of Exile 2, you need to get like an external file to get the filter that you want, and of course that can be customizable as well, but here you can just create a new filter, and then from here you can add all the rules you want and customize your filter. So this is a great quality of life as well. So about monetization, this is all you need to know about Last Epoch. Now talking about the passive tree. Passive tree here is way different from Path of Exile 2. As you guys can see, this is the passive tree and looks way more simple than Path of Exile 2. Path of Exile 2 looks like a galaxy full of stars and planets and stuff. It's huge. Here it's pretty simple. So you start with this passive tree, which is related to your class. So in this case I have a mage, and you can choose up to 25 passive points. So after choosing 25 passive points, you can then invest in points on your ascendancy, and you have a bit more room and freedom here because I choose Rune Master Mastery. As you guys can see, this is my mastery, but I'm actually spending points on Sorcerer because I like more, and I think for the build I'm planning to, these points will benefit my build much more. But from the mastery I've chosen the passive bonus are way better for the build I want, and this is some freedom you have. The downside is that you are not able to reset this. Once you choose your mastery, you can't go back, and the only thing you can really do is respect your points. So all of these you can be resetted, you can reset these points and go back and choose the points you want. So the passive tree, it's pretty simple, you don't need any guide or anything like that to know what passive tree, it's pretty easy to understand. So it's all you need to know. After a passive tree, we have more trees, but all of them will be simple. Then we have the skills and specializations. So on this one, this is pretty amazing. And on this game, you don't need any support gems, and any build can turn to one button build. So no support gems, and here the support gems will be the points you use, okay, the specialization. So as you guys can see, we can only specialize 5 skills, alright, so these are all the skills you can unlock in this game. You can unlock all these skills from mage, and then depending on which mastery you have chosen, so sorcerer, spellblade, in this case since I have a mage, sorcerer, spellblade or runmaster, you can have all of these skills, alright, depending on which class you have. And as you progress, eventually you unlock all of these, and that's basically it. Regarding the specializations, basically you can choose up to 5 specializations, and each one you will have more points to choose. And as you guys can see, it's not a big tree, and it's pretty easy to reset these points. If you want to go back on these points, you can just press respect, and you can remove the points or specialize the skill. So it's pretty easy to manage all of these. And these points will work like support gems in Path of Exile 2, so you can customize your skill, the skill that you like. Imagine if you like, for example, I like Elemental Nova, I like this skill, and you decide this skill is awesome, I want to keep using this skill, and personalize it to my taste and the way or the playstyle I like more. And to do that, you just need to specialize that skill, and while you are using that skill, while you are leveling up, you'll get more experience, and then you will earn some points here, and you can customize your skill. For example, I have Elemental Nova here, and I've done some personalizations to Elemental Nova. For example, now it gives me a Fire Nova which deals more damage. I have Arcane projections that can target a location instead of being around you. This is the same thing like we have in Path of Exile 2. I think it's exactly the same name, Arcane projection, but in here you don't need a support gem. You just need to use that skill, and you get those points for free. You don't need to spend any coins or any in-game resource. You get this for free. You just need to choose the skills you want, you need to specialize it, and then you'll get all of these points. It's the same thing for all other skills, and all of them can be personalized. For example, this one, Disintegrate, it channels a beam, and for example, now I have the twin beam, so when I cast it, it will cast 2 beams at the same time, and there's a lot more that can be done with these skills and with this personalization. I think this is just really cool, and it will keep you more engaged while you're playing the game, because every level, every time you progress, every time you get more points, more skill points, more points on this skill specialization will be one more step, will be something more that you can add to your gameplay, to your playstyle and everything. So every time you level up, you will get something different, and that's really nice because it will keep you engaged. Other thing is the loot. The loot in this game, it's much better than in Path of Exile 2. As you guys see, I'm level 23 and I'm full yellow, and I even have a mythic, let's call it a mythic or unique, like in Path of Exile 2, a unique item. And the unique items here, they are really useful. For example, in this one, I'm using this one which is a Calamity, and if this one is giving me more fire damage, more cast speed, a lot of good things that will be great for me. And besides your gear, you have something else, which is these idols, alright? And these idols, you will eventually unlock more spaces in these idols, and they will give you more stats that will be useful for your class. For example, I have more critical strike, I have more cold damage, I have more lightning resistance. As you guys can see, there's a lot you can get with these idols. But the loot is way better. While you progress and while you level up, you'll be getting tons of loot, and I have 17,000 coins at the moment. Coins in this game is not something that you'll be missing. Coins in this game will be more than enough to do all your content and get all the items that you need. And in this game, like in Path of Exile 2, you can also gamble, go to a gamble for new gear and get some new gear that you may need. Like for example, if you have a ring that you have been using for a long time and you really need a new one, you can gamble for it and use this money. This money is used for other activities in game as well, like crafting and stuff like that, but you'll not be lacking this resource. Regarding the gameplay, I feel it's way better. You will feel stronger on the early game, but of course I'm just comparing the last Path of Exile 2 patch with this season 2 in last Epoch. At this moment, it's way better than Path of Exile 2 because this last patch just made the game much more difficult without having to be difficult, and that just kills all the fun that we are looking for in this game. After all, when we want to play a game, we want to have fun, alright? It's just not the challenge. The challenge is important, but when the challenge is so hard that most of the players can't progress and they can't level up, get new gear, they are not having fun. And having fun while playing a game, it's a really strong component, and this is one of the strong points with last Epoch. You have loads of fun while you're playing this game. Especially on the early, you'll not feel weak, you'll be able to clear everything on the map, kill all the bosses, and you'll be feeling strong, not lacking any gear or anything like that. Another good thing about last Epoch is that you will be able to find loads of content while you're progressing on the map and all the levels. You'll be able to find like towers that will give you different buffs all the time. You'll find a lot of chest boxes with more gear. I mean, you'll find loads of different content. You'll find this type of exiles that you need to fight against. You'll find different bosses, different rares. I mean, there's a lot of new stuff and different stuff that you'll find while progressing on the game, and that really makes the game more fun and will make you more engaged. Also, last Epoch is way easier to play comparing with Path of Exile 2. As I just showed to you guys, this game is way easier. All the skills, it's easy to pick, easy to specialize. There's not much you can go wrong here. Everything will be useful for you, no matter what you choose and what paths you take. And it's really easy to find. They are not very complicated. If you read all of this, they will explain everything you need to know, and it's pretty easy. You don't really need a guide. Of course, if you have any question, and probably there's some builds that are better than others, but you can play this game without a single guide reaching the end game. Will be just like that. But one downside about being easier is that I felt while fighting bosses is less rewarding than Path of Exile 2. Not talking about the last patch, but when Path of Exile 2 released, everyone felt all the bosses very rewarding, especially the pinnacle bosses, because you need to learn all the skills of that boss, learn when to dodge and how to defeat that boss. But this last patch, I don't know what they've done with the bosses. They are just too fast, they were unpredictable, and that is not good, because that way we can't learn the pattern of that boss and learn how to defeat it, and that way we will not feel it's rewardable. A small change that I found on last Epoch is about quests. While you're progressing on the game, when you complete a quest, you get tons of experience and helps you to level up faster. Something that on Path of Exile 2, when you complete a quest, you don't earn almost no XP, no experience, and sometimes if they don't give you an item that is rewardable, you feel like doing that quest was worth nothing, and that's really bad. But I hope they improve that and they give more rewards when you complete a quest, just to make it more engaging. Another thing about Path of Exile, and talking just small quality of life, for example, when you cast a portal, it's instantaneously, alright? So you press here, I can't open it because I'm already on the town and I don't have any place. I was not on any place, so I'm just gonna run to that door, enter that place. You can find as well a lot of endgame content, which is pretty good, but I've not reached that, so that's something I'll not talk in this video. I'll talk when I reach to that endgame, because I've never played the endgame content before. I'm just talking about my first impressions and what I think about both games at the moment. So for example, if I cast Portal now, you guys can see it's instantaneous, and I don't really need to cast it or take 2 or 3 seconds to cast a portal, which I don't find it's something necessary to happen. I mean, taking 2 or 3 seconds to cast your portal, I don't know what is the need of that. This game is only playable on PC and can be played on offline mode. That is really awesome, especially if you are traveling on a plane, you don't have access to internet or something like that. You can just play on offline mode, and when you go back to online, all the game you've played will be updated to the server and you can play it online. Alright, and the last thing I want to talk about is crafting. Crafting is way easier here than Path of Exile 2. It's so easy, it's much better, and I just found out that I forgot my gloves in crafting, alright? So, gloves, I put my gloves here because I want to explain you guys how the crafting gear works, and it's pretty awesome. I'm not gonna use this item just because I don't want to. I mean, we can use this one. So, you have these ones, which are the modifiers you can slot here. So, it's pretty easy. You'll be looting all of these stones, and then you can add any stone to your item. So, for example, this will be the prefix, then we have the suffixes, alright? So, these are different stones. You can choose the one you want to craft here. You can craft, alright? And then after crafting this one, you can craft another one there, alright? And for example, imagine if I'm crafting some mana there, after choosing the prefix here, you can also choose between these runes that will do different things on your items. And let's just change this item because I can't craft unique items. You can craft unique items, but as you guys can see, there's the modifiers there: cold resistance, there's movement speed and fire resistance. And basically, if you want, you can use some of these shards and upgrade the tier of your modifiers. So for example, if I want to increase my fire resistance, I can use my fire resistance shard and increase to a higher tier, okay? And this is really good. Other thing is these runes, alright? If you want, you can use these runes and they will create different effects. This one will destroy an item, create a random number of affixed shards containing its powers. This one rolls the values of all fixes on an item within their tiers. So there's a lot of effects you can use here, and then you just need to craft that. So you can upgrade those modifiers. You can also add new modifiers. For example, here, as you guys can see, I've had one more slot, so it means I can add one more modifier, and then if I want, I can increase the tier of those modifiers. So the crafting here, it's pretty easy, and besides that, you also have these glyphs that can modify in a different way also the outcome of your crafting. So it's pretty easy. About the forging potential, this is something you need to be careful, because this number means how many times or how much you can craft an item. When you reach 0, you can't craft this anymore. So basically, imagine if I was going to craft something here, invest something here, I do it, and then I'll use some of this forging potential. So imagine now it's 27, if I add an affix, it will turn to 23 or 22, imagine. And eventually it will reach to 0. When it reaches 0, you can't craft this item anymore. So this is basically the limit. The higher the number, the more you can craft that item. So this is basically the crafting. It's pretty easy. You don't really need to search about that. Check for a guide to understand how the crafting works. It's pretty easy. We have suffixes, we have prefixes. This is how much we can have. And then we have the items that will tell us exactly what they can do. And that's basically it. 5 here, we have 10 runes here, and that's basically it. And we have the forging potential. That's basically it you need to know about crafting. So I think that Last Epoch did an amazing job with this new season. They brought more content, there's more content, more endgame content to everyone, which was one of the downsides about this game. They already have a good basis, a good crafting, good gameplay. The playstyle on this game is so fun because you can choose whatever skill you want and just personalize it as you like. So that's really awesome. And I think Last Epoch, each season, each patch is improving and bringing better content to everyone. If you guys have been watching other videos, you guys can see even the graphic design, it's way better than the first betas they did. It's more polished, more clean, and we hope with more seasons and more patches they can improve even more all the graphic design and everything they need to improve to make this a great RPG. It's good to have different good RPGs at the moment, because that just will create competition between all of those games we know, like Diablo 4, Path of Exile 2 and Last Epoch. and this competition will just force these companies to bring better content and deliver more improvements to every player that wants to enjoy a good RPG. Hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and don't forget, comment below what you think, if it lasts Epoch or Path of Exile 2, which one is your favorite, or if you just want to play both, which I advise you to do. Path of Exile 2 is a great game, Last Epoch is a great game, and we don't really need to choose just one. We can play all the games we want, you can experience both, because both are great games you can play. Hope you enjoyed this video, don't forget, leave that like and subscribe to my channel to follow more content like this. Hope you enjoyed and see you next time.